is Saturday, April 24th. I did not run yesterday. I was not feeling well, had a headache, and it had just been a long week. My body felt beat up, my brain felt beat up, and I just needed a day off, and I took one. And for that, I want to offer myself some forgiveness, which is what I want to talk about this week, I think. Not Earth Day, which I mentioned Friday, and which shouldn't be confined to a day and really needs to be a day in and day out thing. Forgiveness also. But it was brought to mind this week, just this morning, a number of things in the news and a number of things in my personal life. Joe Biden was discussing the Armenian genocide and used that term, which was the first time an American president had done so. Mazie Hirono leading legislation for AAPI, hate crime legislation, a good thing, passed 94-1 in the Senate. Thank you, Josh Hawley. But yeah, right today I want to think about personal forgiveness, and we'll talk about other things, what can be forgiven, what it means to forgive. But today I want to talk about personal forgiveness because I had a rough week and I didn't run a couple of days. 2 days. This is the first time this year I've had a week that I didn't run 2 days. First time I've missed 2 days in a month, actually. So that was kind of discouraging, and it's easy to get down on myself. And my VEDA did not go well this week. I missed several days on that, even when I had some things in the can, as they say. And it's easy to get discouraged and want to give up on ourselves and get down on ourselves when we fail to reach goals we set for ourselves and not do the things we want to have ourselves doing. And when that happens, I think it's important to be able to forgive yourself. Not to let things go and say you're not going to try to do better, but not also to wallow in accusations and accusatorial thinking. So you got to let yourself cut yourself some slack now and then. So if you've been getting down on yourself, I'm telling you right now, I give you permission. You are forgiven, okay? Go out and do better. That's what I'm going to try to do. Talk to you about it some more tomorrow. Okay, yes, it's very dark because guess what? It is still Saturday. I went out for a second run today because I just didn't like the look of a 5-run week for the first time this year. And so, like I said, when we fall short of our own goals and desires for ourselves, the thing to do is not get angry with ourselves, but to just forgive the mistakes of the past and try to do better. So I thought I could do better. At the end of the day, I felt okay. I thought I could go out and do another easy 5K without killing myself. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but right now I feel pretty good. So talk to you again tomorrow. It's a full moon. Hello again. It is Saturday, April 25th. Just finished 7 miles and a little bit of headwind on the way home, but it was pleasantly cool still. That is about to change later this week. I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be very hot by Friday. But anyway, we're talking about forgiveness. And I mentioned that one of the things that put this into my mind was when President Biden described the Armenian genocide as a genocide, which was the first American president to have done so. That's an important notion, using accurate language to describe atrocities. You can't get past something. I don't think that a genocide can or should be forgiven. So that's not an area where you forgive, but you can recognize that it was long enough ago and separated by enough generations that we could get past it, but not if we pretend it didn't happen or if we pretend that it has been forgiven. You cannot forgive it, you cannot forget it, and you cannot ignore the fact that there are consequences in the aftermath of something like that that still weigh on the populations that are left behind. Some groups benefited at the time, some people paid the cost at the time, some people still have benefits from those atrocities, and some people are still bearing the costs. There are many, many cases of the United States having done this, so we cannot, pretend that we have any lofty position to criticize Armenia or the Turks or the people involved in that, in the Armenian genocide. But we have to recognize it when we do it. We have to be accurate and realistic in discussing it when other populations have suffered that and committed that. So forgiveness is not a simple issue. It is important to know when things can be forgiven, what can be forgiven, and to do so when possible, so that you can move on in the most productive way for everyone involved. So that's one other area that I was on my mind this week, and we'll talk about some more tomorrow. It's in the dark again because it was another busy day where I was not even going to run at all, and it got late. Mickey had to track me, and she did great.
First place, Yeah, Mickey!
And Lois is still working her new job, and I still had to go to Palm Springs. So yeah, it was a really busy day, and I was just super tired, and I wasn't going to run at all. But then Mulan got me out the door, and I did a 5K. So I was talking about forgiveness, and it's too big a topic for me to think about tonight. Maybe tomorrow. I got 2 more days to talk about it. Talk to you tomorrow. It is Wednesday, April 28th today, and I ran a quasi-fast for me, very flat, short 5K. I guess it was 5K, which is shorter than I like to run, but I'm trying to take it easy relatively as I get acclimated to the heat, because it jumped 25 degrees since yesterday, and that's always tough. So on the topic of forgiveness, one thing that when I think about forgiveness, it ties in with justice. And the trouble is that there are some things that justice is not available for, and that's one thing that makes those things impossible possibly to forgive, really. You cannot, there's no real justice for George Floyd because there's no bringing George Floyd back. There's no justice for slavery because those people are gone and you can't compensate them in any fair way. There's no justice that will return the 6 million Jews lost in the Holocaust or the millions and millions of Native Americans lost in the Great Dying. So those things can't be forgiven. You can only hope to move on, but moving on requires accurate understanding of those, what has transpired. And it's made me a great believer in the concept of restorative justice, which is a very big concept, and I'm sure you can find a lot of information by researching. I recommend the book The 57 Bus. Treats a classic example of it that helps to understand the concept. It certainly did for me. It's not an easy idea, restorative justice, and it's not always possible. But I think it's something we have to pursue. And I think it ties in with the concept of forgiveness, though they're not the same thing. Forgiveness does not equate to justice, and justice doesn't always equate to forgiveness. But I think without one, the other becomes nearly impossible. So I think it's important to think about, and we need to talk about it. So I did, and I'll finish up tomorrow with my last thoughts, and I will talk to you again tomorrow, I guess, I hope. Hello, it is Thursday, April 29th, and it is not late today. I'm up early. Got in a run before work so that I could beat the heat. It was only 54, 55 degrees now, and it's going to be 88 this afternoon. So big warm-up coming, and I did not feel like dealing with it this afternoon, so I went out and did an 8K this morning, and it felt great. I'm feeling great about Joe Biden's State of the Union speech last night. And so I'm ready to, as I've spoken about this week, forgive a lot and move on and try to find ways to build back better, as Joe likes to say. And I think we can do it. I really do. I think better days are ahead. Till next time, don't forget to be awesome, and I will talk to you again soon, hopefully.